If a buyer has to pay that 2.5%, it's going to make their closing costs 2.5% more than what it is today. Now, I'm seeing arguments from agents and things like that. I mean, maybe the house is 2.5% less because the seller side's paying less commission, right? So maybe the price comes down a little bit, but it's just like restructuring who's paying. My issue with that is money out of pocket is a lot more impactful than money in the purchase price. Mm-hmm. So saving 2.5% in a purchase price for most first-time home buyers doesn't help them as much as saving $5,000 out of your closing costs.
Mm-hmm. So this is my issue, right, with the whole thing. It's like, all right, think about it like advertisement marketing, right? Super Bowl, okay? We own this company, all right? The Super Bowl doesn't necessarily own the fans, right? But they are working with the fans because they do the marketing to the fans. That's their audience, right? If you want to get a piece of my fans, you have to pay X amount for a Super Bowl commercial. That's the name of get coming into the game. But in return, you're more like Yeezy dropping that video clip from his phone. He made a shit ton of money back after paying $7 million for a 30-second clip from the audience that it provides. Think about it in the seller to buyer thing. You are marketing your home to buyers who are represented by another agent. For that person to bring the money to you, you have to put money out to get it. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, that is what's going on. The seller's agent, not for nothing, but the seller's agent, what are they really doing? In a sense of the marketing side to the buyer. Putting it on an MLS?
Right. Yeah.
Put it on an MLS, take some pictures. Other than that, when it comes to showing the home and this and the third, they're not doing none of that. Mm-hmm. So...
But that's why sellers don't want to pay 6% to them, because they.
But you're not paying it to them, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Seller, you're not paying money to the seller's agent all the way around. Right. You're paying for their service, whatever that is, more than likely 3%. Yeah. And then you're paying another 3% for the other person to bring people to your house.
And this is the conversations that need to be had with the sellers that I think aren't happening. I think people are presenting this 5%, but they're not diving into why it is at this percentage. If we're having deeper conversations with our clients and we're having them understand the process, then they would be more willing to spread that out. And then they have the knowledge behind it, rather just thinking, oh, I gave 6% for this person that I didn't hire. Like, no, that's not the way it's going on.
It's ridiculous. If I'm going to buy a house, I got to get a loan. Am I right? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. So in my loan, there's a cost for that loan, which we pay commissions to that loan officer based on the loan that we get. Right. Mm-hmm. It's an entry fee to get into the game at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Period, point blank, period. That's what we got to do. So if I'm going to list a house, if I want to sell my home, it's an entry fee to go into the game. It's 6%.
If I
day 4%, whatever, that part is negotiable. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, the seller's agent shouldn't be able to just have complete control over what that percent looks like. That's ridiculous. That's the bad part.
If I sue you, why should I pay for your attorney? That's their argument. That's the seller's argument. Why am I paying for the other side's representation? But here's why it's different. I understand. I'm just playing devil's advocate a little bit. What the seller is actually paying for is to have qualified buyers come to your house.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Also, the agent is with them when they show the house. So that's a convenience.
Yes, they're walking them through their house. Yes. They're respecting their property. They're making sure nothing happens while that buyer is there.
Like, it could get real dangerous in there.
It could. Yeah.
So people think, oh, I'm just going to sell, I'm going to sell my house on my own as for sale by owner. The problem that you're going to have as a for sale by owner is you don't know how to vet the people. Sure, they have a pre-approval sometimes, but what does that mean? Mm-hmm. You're not going to know how to execute through the contract, but you're going to have, especially in this market, your phone will not stop ringing, because when you're for sale by owner, any unqualified buyer can contact you. You're going to have a million people contacting you, wasting your time. You're going to run home after work, allow showings. then, weird, smelly people are going to come through your house. They're not even qualified, wasting your time. You might not even know how to vet an offer, so they give you an offer and you accept it. Now you're stuck under contract, and there's no way that buyer is even able to close, and now you're wasting your time that way. So the value proposition obviously is there. I just think we understand how it works, but probably the audience here still probably kind of is confused about how the commissions get paid. And I'm telling you, because Miranda, you keep saying, well, you have to explain it. I promise you, I've had clients, I have explained things 7 times, and I'm good at explaining things in layman's terms. No one wants to look like they don't understand something, right? So they will nod their head and say, yeah, I get it, and then sign a contract and not ever understood what happened. At closing, this happens all the time. People... The title agent's like, oh, this is for blah, 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 and explain it. And they just say, okay, and sign it. They don't know what they just talked about. Just like if a contract, back in the day when I first started flipping houses and I dealt with a contractor, he was telling me I was using 3/8 sheetrock for this and I need a PEX for that. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, cool. I don't know what they're talking about, but I'm nodding my head. That's what most people do. So you can explain stuff till you're blue in the face, but people don't really get it. And obviously ignorance is kind of their fault, but I don't know. There's like a line where as a professional and as a fiduciary, it's just a higher level of requirement on our end.
I wish there was a standard, or in this ruling, I wish they came down with there's a standard of a 50-50 split between sellers and buyer's agent, regardless of what their percent is.
It's anti...
No. Listen to what I'm trying to say. If I'm a seller and and I understand, hey, listen, you're my agent. You're my seller's agent. Hey, listen, I'm cool with giving you, let's just say 6%, just throwing it out there. I'm cool with giving you 6% to get my house sold. I need my house sold. So whatever you have to do with that 6%, go get it done. Right? Cool with that part. The opposite side to that is now, okay, if you want to be greedy as a seller's agent, right? And you want to just say, hey, well, listen, to get this done, I got 6% on my hands. Here, I'll just give them 1. What benefit does that offer me to go out and bring my clients to you?
Yeah, but you won't know that. This is the whole problem.
Right, but that's I think that's the bigger issue is that the money isn't put on the table for what is spent on getting this house sold. Like it's like you're kind of saying, here's your pot of money. Keep it in your pocket. Don't tell anybody who who's going to be involved of actually getting this house sold, how much you got. But if you can get it done with nothing coming out of your pocket, great.
That is what it is.
That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous when I'm doing literally everything. Honestly, everything. You can't. I honestly, it's
the buyer's agent does do a lot of the work.
Yeah.
Do you know that if you sell your home, the seller can't obtain the CO?
Well, what are you saying?
They obtain the CO. They cannot get any proof of the CO. The seller has to, if they agree to get the CO, the seller can get it, but they can't get the CO. They can't get the record of the CO. The buyer has to get it when you're selling a home. So to get the record of the CO, the buyer has to call the county to get the actual CO paperwork.
That might be a specific count. That might be a
specific COs county. Are very specified to
right.
where they're at, so it just depends.
Well, I'm just talking in my particular situation because it kind of fired me up today. But in Camden,
I was going to say, was it Camden County because they try to make everything difficult?
Just burn Camden down, honestly. I'm sorry.
But guess what?
Because it's not like, it wasn't like that in West Deptford.
My agent,
Camden,
my seller's agent was like,
burn everything.
I can't get my commissions unless I get the CO paperwork. Well, guess what, baby? Let me get 0.5 more. You want the CO
negotiation,
paperwork? Right. You want the CO paperwork? Because that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to be ticky-tack across the board.
That's what they want.
For no reason.
Yeah.